welcome to Pumpkin's Nail Station. Well, I was going to say Pumpkin's Nail Art. Welcome to Pumpkin's Nail Station. Today I'm doing something a touch different to what I normally do. I was invited to do a collab from Pathika Savannah from Cute Nail Art 96 on Instagram, and another girl called Michelle. I'll stick their Instagrams up on here and their YouTube channels. And what this is, it's 15 channels that will be doing nail art techniques. So each person will be doing something different. So the playlist is really interesting, especially if you're new to nail art or you just want to see, you know, how other people do things, because you may pick something up. So I think this, of all playlists, is probably a playlist that you should watch, especially if you're a nail art lover. So I'm going to be doing encapsulation with glitter, and we're going to be doing it with a few different ways. So we're going to start off with putting the glitter onto wet polygel. So we're going to be using the burano white and clear to encapsulate everything in once it's cured. We're also going to be doing it with a dual form. We're going to be doing just fine glitter, a little bit chunkier than a normal fine glitter, with just a top coat, and then we're going to do it with builder gel in a bottle as well. So we've got a few different things going on here. So for this one, I'm going to use some of these shapes, like what you can buy off AliExpress. So they're a little bit on the chunkier side. We're going to use some hexagons from Smileys. And then we're going to use some of these little hollow circles from She Modern as well. And yeah, I think that'll be it on this nail, because I don't want it to be too busy. So we're just going to crack on with this. So the polygel is wet. Okay. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're adding a couple of different types of glitter into wet polygel. I've not cured it, so I've put this white polygel down onto a prepped nail, and I'm going to use some of the like sequin glitters that you get from AliExpress, like the slightly thicker ones, and pressing them into the polygel. And then I'm going to be using a holographic circle by She Modern and just kind of sprinkling that over, along with the hexagons by Smileys as well. So I'm just going to be variating them through the nail, and then I will go and cure it. And then what I've done here is we're just going to add I've added a slightly thin layer of base coat off camera, and then I'm just going to add a couple more things on top, like kind of like a layered design. And we're going to come back after I've cured that and add a clear layer of polygel to encapsulate all this in, because it's quite chunky. Okay, so while that other one is curing, we've got I've got some clear polygel into this dual form, and I'm just going to add some glitter from the nail candy shop into the clear glitter and give it like that glitter gel effect. I'm also going to press in some hearts from Charlie's Nail Art into there as well, but I'm going to push them quite far through the polygel, and just a few variant little bits like some rhombus and some more of the glitter from the nail candy shop. And then I'm going to cure that, and then we'll come back and we'll add another thin layer of clear polygel onto that, and then that will be stuck onto the nail. So we'll come back to that a bit later. So I'm just going to let you watch what I'm doing. Okay, so that's finished curing in the lamp now, the other nail, the white nail, and we're going to add a layer of clear polygel to encapsulate all this chunky glitter onto the nail, and then a bit later on we'll give it a little buff and a top coat. The burano is actually my favourite for encapsulating with polygel. Excellent product, really clear and really nice to use, and I'm using alcohol to manoeuvre the polygel. Okay, so we're back with the dual form now, and we're going to use the burano polygel that I also used at the bottom to stick the polygel into. As I mentioned before, it's the best polygel that I have, the clearest for encapsulating glitters. So if you're looking for a good kit for, with a good clear, then this one is probably the best one that I have. It's not cloudy and all the glitter shows through. So I'm just using alcohol and a thin layer, and I'm just encapsulating the glitter that we've just done and cured, and then we're going to apply this to the nail just as you would a jewel form. Okay, and then we'll cure it for 60 seconds and pop it off. Okay, so the jewel form is on the nail, it's not cured yet, so we're just positioning it on, and then we're going to flip it over, get a brush and just smooth out the free edge side so it's not all bulky and uneven, and that's when we're going to cure it for the 60 seconds. Okay, so we're just popping the jewel form off now, and we're going to give it a little wipe with some alcohol to remove the tacky layer. This is a really good way to give yourself long nails with glitter and encapsulating stuff. You can encapsulate glitter, you can encapsulate accessories, you can encapsulate anything onto the nail this way, and it's a really good way to do it. Okay, so we're just going to do the basic gel and base and top coat with a pretty fine multi-mix glitter. So it's got all kinds of glitter textures in there. So what I've got on the nail at the moment is just a base coat that is cured on top of a white gel polish, and then we're just going to burnish this gel polish in. Okay, and then in a minute I'm going to add a base coat over the top, and we're just going to add some of the chunky parts over the top, and then we're going to cure that, and then in a bit we'll come back with a top coat. No, we don't. In a bit we'll come back and we'll use a base coat and a top coat to encapsulate it. So just watch what I'm doing here. Okay, so we're just moving on now to the builder in a bottle one. So again, I'm just going to add some base coat onto this, leave it wet, and we're going to apply these glitters. It's a multi-mix and a tinsel from the Glitter Fairy, and then we're going to cure those into the nail, and then we're going to come back and we're going to apply a builder in a bottle to encapsulate these. I wanted to cover as many angles of gels and glitters as possible. So basically I'm just applying this glitter to a wet gel at the moment, and then I'm going to cure it, and we're going to come back in a short moment and encapsulate it with builder in a bottle. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is use a base coat, and I'm going to apply it down the nail and just give it a scrub into the nail so it fills in all the little gaps. And then we're going to cure that, and then we add a top coat and we just give it a little buff to smooth out any of the bumps that may be there. There shouldn't be if you follow this technique with rubbing it in to the base, rubbing it into the glitter first, curing it, add your top coat, and then just give it a little buff and a finished top coat, and that's a really cheap way. So if only all you've got is a base and top coat, then you can encapsulate glitter. Okay, so this is the final one where we've just a few moments ago we added this glitter from the Glitter Fairy onto wet gel and we cured it, and now we're going to add a layer of the builder in a bottle down all of the nail, because gel sticks to gel and the builder gel will be a lot easier to work with. And then we're going to apply quite a bit to the top of the nail and just slowly work it down and walk it down the nail. And once you've got that on, you're going to get your brush and you're kind of going to level everything off and tip the nail upside down. Basically just watch what I'm doing, and if you've got any questions, and that's basically what you do. So yeah, just watch what I'm doing, and if you've got any questions, just ask. Okay, right, so we're here. So I basically just filed and buffed this exactly the same, and it went really smooth, so there's no point in repeating that. So we're just going to get a top coat again, and we're just going to go over this. And the builder in a bottle is a really good way if you like to use gels to encapsulate the chunkier types of glitter. So I'm just going to cure that. Excuse me. Okay, and now we've got this polygel nail that we did earlier. We've just got an old file like this, and I'm literally just going to go over it like that, just a bit, using the smoother side. I'm just going to smooth it over like that. So I'm not going to make this perfect just because it's time consuming, and then I'll just go over it with a soft butter. Okay, and then we'll just go over it with some alcohol and a wipe, and of course you would shape it as well, which I've already done to a degree. And then we're just going to top coat it. Okay, so I'm just going to cure that. And then the last but not least was the Polygel and Dual Form nail. So let's take a look at that. So you can see it's already encapsulated in really well, and just by doing that clear layer again, it seals that part in. Okay, and it does still look really well, and it's nice and secure. So it's just a good way of doing it. So that's cured. So we'll just take that off. Then we'll push this nail in. And then again, we're just gonna lightly buff this over, because it doesn't need to be like, you know, buffed really hard, because it is already smooth. But I just like to buff them anyway, because the top coat actually sticks better. But I'm just doing it with a smooth old file. So there we go. And I've already filed and shaped it, so you would just shape it like so, just like that, and then you would wipe it off before you do the top coat, just making sure everything is off. Push that in, and then we're going to top coat. And that is literally everything done. So this is a really cool way to like DIY those glitter polygels that people are selling to use with dual forms. It's a good way to like DIY that. And what I probably would do to make it even clearer is come underneath this nail with the top coat as well. And just cap the edge and the sides. And that's that. So I'm just going to go and cure that, and then we are finished. So let's check them all out. So this one was the first nail that we did, or that I did. It's got the shapes in there in the She Modern holographic glitter. You can see it's all smooth, it's all sealed in, and that's a really good way to use like these bigger shapes that you can get from AliExpress that really don't top coat very well, is to press it in to like the Polygel or the acrylic or whatever it is that you're doing. As long as it's solvent resistant, then it will be fine. If it's not solvent resistant, you can use it with gel as long as you cure it pretty fast. With acrylic it's not okay. So this was the one where I just added a base coat, cured it for 30 seconds, come back and applied the glitter on top as like a tacky layer. So that worked really well. And then we just did a layer of wet base coat and added some of the more chunky shapes in just for some texture. And again, after buffing in between the first and the second top coats, it's really smooth. So if all you had was a top and a base coat, you can use glitter. And then this one was the builder in a bottle nail, where we applied it to wet gel, put the glitter on, cured it, and then we applied a layer of base coat, cured that, and then put the builder in a bottle on top. It's not bulky. It's really smooth and it looks beautiful. So that was that one. And then finally was the dual form nail, where we put the wet polygel into a dual form. I use clear. You can use like coloured like a white with like dry flowers and press them right down, but I would probably do like a thin layer of clear first if you're going to do that, then the white, then press the flowers through, and then a thin layer of clear to seal it onto the nail. But anyway, just look at that, how fabulous does that look? And you can see right through it, it looks really clear. I really love the burano clear for encapsulating. I hope they do sell this just as a tube, because I would buy it again. Hands down, it's my favourite thing to encapsulate glitters with, the burano clear. I love it for that. The Model 1's clear is okay as well. It's good for encapsulating, it's pretty clear, but this one is my hands down favourite for that. So yeah, so that was everything that we did for this collaboration. So let's check them all out together. So this is all the nails. So that is that. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to watch all the other ladies. And that's it. Bye.